Well, Christian, let me tell you a story, Mean Gene brother. We have been so jacked about these Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles dudes that we're breaking down issues 9 through 30 today in one single podcast, brother. Christian, dude, you got me hyped on these. I've been having a great time reading these. How are you, man? You ready to break down another 20 plus today?
I am ready. I'm here, but I think maybe you should switch to decaf, dude.
Oh my God, I just love that. Let me tell you a story. Dude, these are just, I hope our audience loves these as much as I have. I can't thank you enough for directing me to read these next after we did the black and white collection. Guys, we've said this on a lot of our podcasts Christian and I have covered here on Shellonomics. There's not an issue that you want to miss. They're all good and unique and special in their each and own unique way. Christian's going to help break these down, guys, every issue one at a time. There's even some part twos that come on once in a while, some cool cameos that I really was stoked about reading today. And I'm like, Christian, if you got the energy, dude, I just finished up to issue 30. Let's break them down. Unfortunately, I had to come on with the hype, though, because the first one's a little bit of a tearjerker for me, man. I've had pets for a long time now. I never had a kitty cat, but we do know the cat in this one, very familiar from the 2003 cartoon. So I know we're in different countries, but if you need me to send you a box of tissues, I got you. I'm going to do my best to keep my composure. So feel free to take it away with issue number 9 in the pack.
Yeah, we're starting, as I say, we're with a downer here. It's really, what a tale. Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Volume 2, number 9. The story is... First off, all these stories, they are not in continuity. They are, all of them take place in different times of the turtles' lives, when they were younger, when they're older, in different times of the run. Volume 1, in Volume 2, some of them even Volume 4, and so on and so forth. Just for information here. But let's get into the story of Tales of the TMT number 9. Which is about Michelangelo, and we all know and love his cat, Clunk. And in this story, Clunk unfortunately gets hit by a car, and he's really, really hurt, and Mikey tries to save him, and he finds a man who's like a shaman who seems to be like into some magic stuff, and he says he can save him, but he needs another life as exchange. And so Mikey is, okay, I bring you another cat. And he brings him a cat that Clunk was hanging out with, like just a street cat. And it's like, here, nobody loves him. You can take his life for Clunk's life. But then Mikey realized what he's saying there, and he's like, no, that's not right. I cannot do this. And he's so sorry, and he's so sad. And yeah, this is the issue where Michelangelo says goodbye to his pet Clunk, and everybody who had pets and pets who are gone, they know the pain, how it feels, and yeah, it really hits right in the feels. But so Clunk is gone, but in the end, Michelangelo finds out that the cat that he was about to sacrifice was actually a female. And she was pregnant with Clunk's babies. And yeah, so there are some baby Clunks now running around. So it's like, yeah, it's very sad, but it's got an upbeat ending. And this is so cool with the turtles, you can tell pretty much every story. There's no big bad guy or anything, like some world-shattering super villains or anything that happened here. No, this is just a story about someone who loses his pet, and it works so well. It's really, it get right in the feels. It's one of the most heartbreaking TMNT stories ever, I gotta say, and it's done so well, in my opinion. Yeah,
dude, I was this is tempting. I've had pets. I feel for Michelangelo. If someone told me, hey, because we lost our L, but not, it's been about 4 years now, but it happened like, late October, early November. And if somebody told me, hey, we can give you your life, your dog more life, if you do this, and of course the thought's going to cross your mind, but Michelangelo, he did the right thing. He had to talk to Master Splinter about this too, and Oh man, it's just what was great about this is because it's very relatable. You know, Stan Lee always did that with his Spider-Man comics in the early days. He's like, you know, I wanted my superheroes to be relatable and down to earth so everybody could understand it. And this comic, man, it made Michelangelo human, and it was very shocking.
Yeah.
The ending, you know, I thought maybe, come on, Clunk's gonna pull through, right? No, he's gone, but he does get the offspring. It's almost like you're close to my age. You remember that cartoon? It was actually a book too, Charlotte's Web. You know, where he says goodbye to Charlotte.
Yeah, of course.
And then he gets the baby spider. So it kind of reminded me of that too when I was reading. It's just like it's still a happy ending. It's the circle of life. You know, you get the youth. So. Oh yeah, man! You guys, we got feels, we got happy, we got joy, we got anger, we get revenge, and we've got a long way to go. But yeah, that was just a blockbuster to kick off this episode here. So now we're gonna get some old school gangsters here in Tales number 10.
Yeah, and Tales of the TMNT number 10, which is called Kaddish or Kaddish. Donatello is a Donatello story, and Donatello actually runs into Golem, who is pretty much causing a little bit of chaos. It's like it seems like it's stealing stuff, but as Donatello finds out as he follows the golem, that it only did it because he's like the guardian of a young boy, and he's only taking stuff for him like food and so on and so forth. But Donatello finds out that the young boy is dead. It's been dead for a long time. But the golem is like, but what is dead? I'm only doing what I'm told to do, what I'm built to do. Like really, once again, really, really deep story actually. And as soon as the golem realizes, like, okay, the boy is gone. I have no purpose in life. He goes a little havoc. Donatello fights him, seemingly defeats the golem, but as it turns out, in the end, it's this cool scene where it shows that the golem has a sign of pi on his forehead, and pi goes on forever. So the golem cannot die, and he goes out into a world to find a new purpose, to find his own purpose in life. And once again, it's such an interesting story. You could break down the story like Donatello fights a golem, but that's not everything. There's still the whole thing was what's purpose in life. What should you do? And it's really great. It's really great. Really cool story. I mean, I always say, as we are talking about these issues, that we're trying to give you a little overview of the stories, but there's so much behind it. Just the art and the story. That's so much bigger that everybody really should check them out for themselves if they can, because this. If you just know the turtles from the cartoons, from the movies, which is fine, but check out the comics, because they really show like a different side of the turtles. So these are still turtles, but it's so different, so special, and yeah, so enjoyable, and in my opinion, so very interesting. Not just my opinion here.
No, well, and that's what you've been hyping me up here. Is just for me, what's great about this for me, Christian, is I didn't know these existed. So this is, again, these have been around for almost 20 plus years, and I'm just reading these for the first time. Like, man, these are just so good. You also talked about spirituality, and I know sometimes people, like in movies or comics, they'll try to do something political, but I'm a big fan of spirituality, and the more comics we read in these tales, you can tell these guys are big believers in, the universe and higher powers, because they do talk about spirituality. And even in one of the ones we read later, I believe it was like even more like in the Triceraton one, that he even says, hey, people were my master, I forget the word, it was somebody like above him was into spirituality. So yeah, I think it's cool brewing there, because it's what Splinter would do anyways. What's your purpose in life? And yeah, just like Christian said, though, guys, our job here, what we want to do is give back to the Turtle fans who may not know these exist, or if you want to relive them with us, that's fine. But we're pretty much just giving you a slice of the pizza, but we want you guys to go and devour it on your own and just take it all in, because I have a couple notes here when we break down more just what amazing artwork there is. Some I wish I could have as a poster or something in my bedroom. I mean, there's some like this globe one we're going to talk about later on with the 4 big turtles, which I thought was really, really unique. Some great cover art. Just Yeah, guys, if you can, we highly encourage you to find these somewhere. And before we do the next one, Christian, I forget, I may have asked you this last week, but did you actually get to read these when these were coming out monthly in like, I think it was like 2004 or whatnot, when the 2003 series was running? Were you able to read these every month when they were coming out?
I pretty much try to keep up with them.
Okay.
I tried to find them like online, like digital, to don't fall behind on them. I was really trying to check them out when they were coming out, and yeah, they were really. It was a wild time, you know. It's the start of 2000, so the internet was a different time back. It was different back then. But if you were looking, you could still find like digital, yeah, the digital comics here and there, and yeah, if you know where to look, you could find these. And so I try to keep up with them as they were coming out back then.
Yeah, it's just they're awesome, and what's really cool too is just all the fans. You saw how heavy the fans were. I think if it wasn't for the fans, this series may have just had 10 issues. But the fans loved it. If you read those little shorts in there, just thank you for making these, and it was just funny reading those because you see at AOL.com, at Yahoo.com. Before we had now at Gmail's pretty much your top email, but back then it was AOL and Yahoo, and I just had a fun time reliving those. And it's almost like it was yesterday those days for me, dude. So even that was just really really cool. So. Let's get into our next episode here. Just another one. Again, this is why you love these too, because every time I put like a little star by just a horror, and one day maybe on your show you'll have the top, like just as a blog, the top 100 horror turtle things, because they are everywhere I turn. We just did the 2012 series, and now here in the Tales we got another really creepy, eerie vibes here with the Quick and the Dead.
Yeah, man. This story, well, you can sum it up with that the mysterious, mystic people, ninjas, whatever, who were coming after Splinter in the second issue, if you remember, who were sending this mystic ninja after Splinter. They had the fort and the astral plane and so on and so forth. They are back, and they have recruited 3 ninjas, and they gave them some kind of superpower, if you want to call it that. They were super, super fast, were like Flash and Quicksilver style, and they were coming after Splinter and the Turtles. And yeah, most of the issue is a big fight scene because the Turtles and Splinter, they try to keep up with these guys, these ninjas. They're super fast, super strong, and well, in the end, it's Splinter who is able to defeat them with one swift swipe with a katana. And yeah, you see 3 heads flying. It's like, okay, Splinter, don't fool with Splinter, I gotta say. And yeah, so they are dead. But in the end, we see that the mysterious bad guys in the background, they are still around. They're like, we have to send another one after them. But they pretty much brought the 3 back from the dead, like used them for as zombie-like servants. It's really creepy imaginary. Once again, check it out. But yeah, that's the end of that story. Another attack of these mysterious guys. This time with super fast ninjas. Yeah, something unusual as always with the turtles.
Yeah, and like you say, just what's great about these is, I mean, I'm sure you would say too, you'd recommend somebody if you try start somewhere else. But like you were saying, if you're a fan of at least just the '87 series, I think it's okay to just bounce into the Tales of the TMNT if you want to just bounce somewhere, because basically who your core turtles are, and like April and Splinter and Casey Jones, and the rest. Just enjoy the ride, man. Just enjoy the ride. Enjoy where these take you. What I like too about this, we've got our next one here with number 12 with our good friend Shadow coming back. And what I like about these two, and I want to know your thoughts after you break this down, is how do you enjoy these epilogues? Because there is just so much passion in these stories. They want to explain more even after the effect. They don't just say the end in some of these. They give you a little more of a breakdown on actually what happens afterwards, which I love.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, with these stories, you always have this frontispiece, the first page, where like, hey, I'm gonna tell you about this and that, some background information, and then let me tell you a story. And then Yeah, as I said, most of these stories they have the main story, and then we have this epilogue where like someone for 1 or 2 pages is like thinking about what happened back, what really happened there, and like sometimes a little bit foreshadowing, and sometimes like just reminiscing about what happened, and like sometimes even realizing something about this whole thing, like in this story. So yeah, I'm a big fan of the storytelling. So as I said, all the stories, they are so different from each other, but you see this, these are tales. These are like one-shot stories, but they always have a beginning, a middle, an end, and they're just, as you say, you can just pick one of these comics and read it for itself, and you would pretty much get the story. Like, okay, that's what happened. Okay, this is the story. That's cool. And yeah, maybe that's the start where you're like, okay, now I need more. Now I want to read more. So yeah, these tales they really work. They really work this way. It's just cool.
Oh, absolutely. And now we've got these annoying uncles in Tales number 12.
Yeah, the story is called Barry's Nocturne, and it's about our teenager Shadow once again. Remember, in some of the stories, she's a teenager. We see her as a teenager, the adopted daughter of Casey, and she goes to Barry's on a school trip. And once again, Raphael is the one who's looking after her. He's sneaking onto the flight just to be sure that Shadow is safe. And fortunately, he does that because Shadow runs into a killer who's running around in the catacombs of Paris. And yeah, so Shadow and Raph has to fight this mysterious killer who turns out to be actually two killers sitting on top of each other. Kind of weird, kind of freaky, kind of crazy. But they are helped by a mysterious young man. In the end, the killer is, well, killed himself, and it turns out that the mysterious young man who helped Shadow uh, has been dead for a very long time. So apparently he was a ghost. So this is the thing that you said, because this is something that Shadow realizes at the end. Like, okay, the story is over, but then Shadow's like, wait a minute, there was something wrong with this guy, and yeah, he was apparently a ghost, who a friendly ghost, just like Casper, who helped Shadow there. Yeah, once again, cool little creepy little Raph and Shadow story there. Little once again, little horror like.
Yeah, and what I like too is they all get the spotlight. Every turtle gets their fair share. You know what I mean? It's not this is the Raphael tale, this is the Donatello tale. Everybody gets their own, spot. And what you were telling me too is we've got more to cover down the line too, guys, because this goes up to 70 issues. But you were also saying before we went on the air that there's actually like, I don't know if you call those one shots or just like a mini series for each Ninja Turtle.
Yeah, there's a 4-part miniseries. If you're
Okay.
talking about like where each miniseries about one of the turtles. Yeah,
Oh, I can't wait for those.
they're like yeah, some of them are follow-ups. Like the Leonardo miniseries is a follow-up to the issue number 5 that we talked about last week. You know, the black and white story where Leonardo was blinded, and it follows up to that. What happens after the end of the story? So, pretty interesting stuff.
Oh man, well after this one, you'll have to let me know where you'd like to break that one down, if just to make sure it keeps with the flow. Because we could do one where it's all 4 turtles like that, or if you want, we could have it involved in here. So feel free to let me know after the show, because I saw those previews when I was reading this comic, and I was like, oh, this is one of the coolest ones we talked about last week, and they broke it down even more. So that shows you that the fans love that just as much as me and you did. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to see where those go. Coming up next, though, if you want, I think you might be able to break this one down in 2 parts. I believe this is a 2-parter. The next 2, is that right?
Yeah, exactly. It's the Loops two-parter, issue 13 and 14. Yeah, in the story, if you remember last time when you talked the turtles, when the shark shredder was appearing, the turtles met the mysterious space mystery monkey. If you remember the name, Nor, I think. And he's back. He's like, hey, now I'm asking you for a favor. And he actually time travel stuff, plucks 4 Leonardos from each from a different time. A very young Leonardo, like a boy, then teenager Leonardo, and a middle-aged Leonardo, and an elder Leonardo. And these Leonardos, they all go on an adventure to pass time in Africa, where he sends them to deliver a crystal to someone. And these Leonardos, they run into this tribe of cat people. And once again, fighting. But the turtles are, so the 4 Leonardos, they're able to give this crystal to a little bat monkey who was living with these cat people. And as it turns out, this bat monkey was the original space monkey. And so he's like, this is like this loop, because through the crystal he gets his consciousness that will turn him into the super powerful space monkey, so he can like pretty much live on forever, because it's like even if he's old, he's dying, he gives all his knowledge to his younger self, and then he will relive his life again. Total crazy stuff. You know how this time travel stories go. And yeah, that's pretty much the story. So it's pretty cool, because 4 Leonardos, 4 different Leonardos, especially the elder Leonardo is like, I'm not killing anymore. I'm fighting. Yes, I can fight, but he's got like this sci-fi sword that only stuns people, and it is not killing anymore. So, and the young Leonardo, and it's just cool. It's just a cool little time travel story with 4 turtles, but all of the 4 turtles, they are the same turtle. So it's really crazy.
Yeah, no, exactly. And what I like about this one too is that magic crystal. It's like, I've heard that tale before, haven't we? And they even wrote in there with a nice reference to the Kirby, the life at best is bittersweet. Remember where he throws in the note, the Kirby to Donatello, and that's on that note he says. So I thought that was really touching. So again, they even give Easter eggs to just fans of other, turtle realms. It's just, so very, very cool. And then like we were saying, I just mentioned here, like these are where the AOL emails come in with the feedback. I just thought that was so cool, just looking at that. Just, and even in early 2000s, people were still sending, and how cool it is the writers and whatnot to, get back in touch with all these guys too. I thought that was another cool, homage. I mean, it's easier now, obviously, because people have Instagram and Facebook and Discord and X or Twitter, and you can send a DM, and if they get time, maybe they'll reach out to you. But I just thought it was cool to see your, letter published in a comic. Now, did you ever write these guys, or no? Because I thought you would have been the dude of anybody be like, just to see TMNT there talking there. Did you ever consider writing these guys, maybe, or?
I actually did.
Nice.
That in the volume 4, so which came out at around the same time, early 2000. I wrote in. I think it was in like issue number 10 or something. I can't remember. I have to check it out. But I wrote in, and they even printed the letter, and
Nice.
it was really cool. Yeah. It was pretty cool. I mean, I did not have the podcast back then.
Okay.
I was just Christian, the turtle fan, and I just want to say how cool his comics are.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh man, very cool. And there's somebody else I'll have to reach out to. Raphael is another guy I've known in the Technodrome. When I saw his name, I wanted to write him and see what it was like when he wrote him. So, dude, you're gonna have to send me a screenshot so I can, post it on our Instagram story when we do this next one. I can't wait to read that, dude. That's a nice little Easter egg bonus content here, like a deleted scene in the Marvel movie. We get a little bonus here now. I love it. I love it. Here we go. Now we're gonna bop into number 15 here with Mikey, and he's kind of like me in this one here. Just I wanted to mention this before you take it away. Is I'm the same way when it comes to cars, and I love how, again, my turtle that I like is a lot like me. I drive a Toyota Camry. I like it. It's great. But like he says, his cars don't need all the bells and whistles. Sure, he likes the AC and whatnot, but it doesn't have to be super flashy. So I just had to throw that in there because that was his intro in this one here in Tales number 15.
Yeah, it's true. Tales 15, Hell's Blacktop, as it's called, where Mikey Shadow and Casey Jones are on a road trip. And yeah, Casey is the one who's like crazy for cars, and he's like, yeah, that's my car, it's my baby, and so on and so forth. And they're on a road trip to um, go to the place where Shadow's mom, Gabriel, if you remember from City at War, where her ashes were spread, and just to remember her. And but as you know, with the turtles, it's not over. It's not just a normal little road trip where nothing crazy happens. No, of course they run into some ghosts on the street, who they drive a race with these ghosts. And but Shadow is the one who is able, because one of the ghosts is missing its head, and she found the skull. She found the skull, and she gives it to this ghost, and the ghost is whole again, and so they are free, and they can go like to the afterlife. And so that's the end of that story. And in the last moment of this, we see like Gabriel's ghost standing on top of a mountain looking down. And Casey says that she would be very proud of Shadow. And you see just the ghost of Gabriel just smiling there. That's a very nice, very touching moment. Um, nice little story. Yeah.
Yeah, again, Mikey, I liked it. I thought it was cool. And now we're gonna come into a nice little surprise with the return of another friend here in issue 16. I just love how they keep throwing and all these work. I said I just had so much fun reading these, because it also might be just because we've been doing a lot, like with the media, like 2003 series, 2012 series, with all the continuation. And now again, if those aren't for you, and you just like one-offs, this is perfect for you. I'm a fan of both, but again, just in case you don't have time to have, oh my God, when's this story gonna end? Just like we said earlier, pop out, read an issue, and you'll enjoy it, especially if you're a Donatello fan in this one. This one was great.
Yeah. Tales number 16, Sins of the Past, is a Donatello adventure with the Utrom story, and it's not the last one of these. Yeah, Donatello is on a space adventure with the Utroms, and on their little adventure, they run into some aliens, and they're like this tentacle creatures, kind of weird, funky looking. And it turns out that the Utroms know about them, and apparently these that they find here are the last ones of their race. And the Utroms know about them because they are like creatures who were running across the universe, and they were like uh, taking over planets and like destroying planets, like what was it? I think it was like they're eating the resources and destroying planets with this. So the Utroms had to step in, and it's like this forbidden past that no one should know about, because pretty much the Utroms like destroyed all these aliens. They destroyed the whole race, and these are that they run into are the last ones. And um, so Donatello is like, hey, there's only in the end there's only one left, so let it live out its life in peace. But one of the Utroms like, no, we cannot let that happen. It's too dangerous. And like on a suicide mission, destroys the alien, destroys himself. And yeah, Donatello is like, is this the right way? Is it really okay? And it's like, yeah, it's space adventure, but it really asks some pretty deep and pretty dark questions. It's, yeah, pretty much what Tales does very well. It tells a story, but it also gives you something to think about. So yeah, space adventure with Donatello.
Yeah, they definitely give you something to think about. That's why it's nice, because you can take it in, and like you say, like, man, Mike, you were just blazing through these, dude. I'm like, yeah, I couldn't stop. And coming up to number 17 here, this was a shocker with me. Ninja Turtles with guns. Did you ever see this coming, man?
Great.
What was your first thought reading this one, man? Holy cow.
Yes, I was checking it out again for preparation for this episode. I was like, oh yeah, there's this scene, because in this story called Wrong Turn, by accident, who was it? It was Casey, Raph, and Donatello. They get transported to a different dimension, like a parallel Earth that was destroyed and was taken over by gigantic bug creatures and spider creatures, and they get thrown into this. Once again, like this kind of sci-fi trope where like this parallel universe and giant spider creatures, and yeah, so it gets crazy. They fight them, and as I said, it's our universe. They even go to Las Vegas and they run into these creatures and they fight them. And as you said, they get their hands on some weapons, some machine guns, and they're like blazing through. It's action movie style, blazing through this creatures. And yeah, before it gets worse, they get transported back to their reality, and they're like, okay, I don't want to see a bug ever again in my life. So yeah, that's pretty much the story. It's Turtles and Casey versus giant bug creatures from another dimension. That could be the title fit.
Yeah, absolutely. I was like, my God. I mean, even Batman doesn't use guns, but Turtles just didn't give a damn. They were ready for it. Let's see here. And what's also cool, too, I don't know if, again, a lot of people want to get stuff graded and they want to, it's kind of expensive for people to buy stuff. On issue 18, I did note the comics back then were about 20 years ago, about $3. So they're maybe they went up $1 or two, but that was fair back then, too, man. $3. Great. Great value for your buck there, my friend, with any of these. And with this number 18 here, this was, I enjoy the artwork on the cover, as I do on most of these, but if I really liked it, I made sure I put it in my notes. I like the artwork on this one with 18.
Yeah, it's great. With Donatello and the Utrom on the giant sea turtle.
Yes.
Looks really great.
Yes.
Yeah. And yeah, it's once again, it's a adventure of Donatello and the Utroms. But this time they are on Earth because the Utroms realize that something weird is going on under the ocean, and they have to investigate it. And Donatello is like always there for stuff like this. And they find that there is a blue hole under the ocean, which is like a black hole, but it's like artificially created by accident. And yeah, while investigating this, Donatello and the Utroms, they almost get sucked into it, but they are saved by uh, some sea turtles, and they yeah get back up to like an island that they get saved. They're like, thankfully there was this island here. And then they realized that this island that they landed on was actually a gigantic turtle. And there's like, whoa, that could be like, Donatello is like, this could be like the mother of all sea turtles. Which is really, we see like this giant turtle underwater. It's like this nice little end of the story. And yeah, it's another Donatello and the Utroms going on an adventure story. Pretty cool. And once again, it's not the last one of these.
Yeah, they had a lot of fun with the Utroms for sure. All right, this one coming up here. I don't want to sound like a broken record, but because I want to make sure, with favorite, you can only pick one. You can't say favorites, but depending how much farther we reach, I've got a long way to go. I've got another 40 plus, almost like 60 issues, give or take, if you count the miniseries we're going to read. But this one right here I just put was a damn good read, number 19. Dude, this is just, for any of the OG comic fans, you guys are in for a real treat here with this one. Take it away and just, I know you're bringing the hype for this one. As a hardcore Turtle fan, I know you're bringing the hype.
Yeah, because it's really this story, like it's a big callback to the very first issue of the series, to very first TMNT comic, because in this story called A Ghost Story, the Turtles and Splinter go to Japan, and they hear about that two little kids, they disappeared in like this ghost house, and so the Turtles go to investigate, and then they find out that this haunted house is actually the home of none other than Tang Shen. And the ghost that's haunting this house is the ghost of Oroku Nagi, like the guy who was fighting Hamato Yoshi back then, which was the start of this whole story, like this whole uh, Hamato clan versus the Foot clan story. And like this goes because Orokunagi was full of hate and he could not leave this earth. And so Splinter is the one who realizes, okay, they save the little kids and then they burn down the house, which is actually sad because it's like this reminds Splinter of his master Hamato Yoshi and Tang Shen, but it must be done so that the ghost can be free. And so they burn down Tang Shen's home, and yeah, Orokunagi's ghost is free. And that's pretty much the end of the story. But I was just a big fan of this because it's a callback to the very first issue. And Orokunagi is someone that you don't hear so often. So it's really cool that they remembered him and they like brought him back in a way. It's not like the usual comic book stuff, like, okay, he came back from the dead because, I don't know, he was cloned or he was because time travel, whatever. No, he was the vengeful ghost, but it was just so cool to get this callback. So it is really cool. Like, how should I put it? It's like an epilogue to the very first issue. Like, this is the end of Orokunagi's story. Really, really cool.
Yeah, so I noticed I was kind of blazing past the preview parts, but when these were coming out, did you know that this was going to have a Rokunagi in it? Because, like, for comics, I know now they give you hype, like Power Rangers, Turtles. Number 3 is, the crossover starting. You got Casey Jones, Shredder. They do a lot of previews. Did you know he was going to be in this issue when this was first out?
I don't think so. I
Okay,
don't think so. It's like
cool.
because the previous did not mention this, if I remember correctly, and it was the big twist of the story. So I was like, oh, that's cool. That's really smart.
Yeah, I love that. So I'm glad it was a surprise for everybody. Just again, it's okay to throw a little pop every now and then because again, for casuals, they may need that. Like how a good
Mm,
movie trailer will show, ooh, what's that doing? And to get some more interest and some water cooler talk, so to speak. But I'm glad they kept it a surprise. Now this one is a little. I think it's like. It's called The Trophy, but I think there's a couple of short stories in here too. Is that one right for number 20?
yeah,
Okay, feel free to break them all down for us.
yeah, because issue number 20 was like, oh, this is the 20th issue. We have to do a little bit special there. So they like have this 3 shorter stories. First story is The Trophy. It's a Splinter story where, well, pretty much Splinter runs into a big game hunter who is hunting like this big um, what was it? Was it a moose or was it a?
It was like deer almost, right? Kind of like, right?
It was like a deer. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It was hunting that, and Splinter was the one who stepped in. Is like because he's like, this is not right. This is not okay. So he's like trying to teach this hunter a lesson, but it's, well, pretty much a bittersweet ending because in the end it is like the guy is like, yeah, there was this monster who's coming after me, but Splinter is pretty much like just there, like, I am the monster, you are the one who's killing innocent lives. Is like, yeah, once again something to think about.
Yeah.
And the second story, The Cure, is about this fish woman living underground. Is like, I'm not sure if you have read the volume 2 of the Mirage comics, like the 13 part volume 2. We have not talked about it, so I'm not sure about
Probably
it.
not.
But uh, yeah, but in this volume, the Leonardo runs into like this fish woman who has an egg, and here we have like we see what happened to her after that story. That the egg has hatched and she has a little baby, and she is looking for some plants because the little baby is a little bit sick and she needs it. So it's just like pretty much like a story. Okay, what happened to this fish woman that Leonardo ran into back then? It's a nice little story. And then we have the story called The Rippling, where we finally see the turtles in this turtle comic. Um, because in this story, the turtles, they It's pretty cool because the turtles, they are on they're on the ocean with a boat, and they see something glowing underwater, and they find this as every turtle like jumps in to get it, they find something different. Like I think it's Donatello who finds like an underground civilization of turtle people. That's kind of weird. And I think Raphael finds like a nightmarish world. So every turtle finds something different. It turns out that like there is an helmet underwater that's cursed, so it shows like this nightmarish or sometimes nightmarish, but sometimes dreamlike visions to lure people underwater. And yeah, Leonardo, if I remember correctly, is the one who destroys the helmet. But in the end, we see that somewhere else, I think in Africa, someone sees also this glow, and then so apparently something still exists, and it's like, was it all just a vision? Did this happen because Leonardo wanted it to happen, so it was not really destroyed? I love just this stuff. Like, so okay, was it real? Was it not? Kind of like the movie Inception, where you're not sure. So was it a dream? Was it reality? You're not sure. A nice little story, but a cool one, smart one, I gotta say.
Yeah, and they love doing that, as we'll see in a couple issues on I think our
Yeah.
final one we cover for this show. Coming up next, these dudes were in a cartoon. They had their own video game, and I did not see this crossover coming again for a second time. So giddy up, TMNT Talk. What do you got in issue 21?
21 at Bull Wrinkle in Time. This is the first crossover of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles with the Cowboys of Moo Mesa. As I remember, they were a cartoon back in the 90s. And yeah, this story is about like the Cowboys of Moo Mesa, and they through a portal they land in New York of the Turtles. And the villains of the Cowboys, they are causing trouble. They're robbing banks. So the Turtles and the Cowboys, they have to team up to stop them. And well, which what they do, and then in the end they go back to their world. But little foreshadowing here. This is not the last time that we will see them. But this is the first big crossover between these two franchises, which I thought was really cool, really cool.
And again, they were these writers just love having a good time too. They throw in a little bit of the 1987 with the jokes in here. They're talking about the Got Milk. Remember that campaign? It was way way
Yeah.
overdone, but I thought that was funny with Raphael talking about that in the beginning. Number 22. Just phenomenal Casey Jones look here. I dig the longer hair. And again, of course, we're going to sound like a broken record with amazing artwork. Feel free to break this one down for us.
Yeah, the art in this is really great. The comic is called Change of Power, and it's a follow-up pretty much to like issue 9 of volume 1, where like this guy Hattori Gosei was how should I put it? Took over the Gosei family name, and because his father was uh, pretty much in leagues with criminal organizations, so on and so forth. But in the end, he was able to take over the clan and like bring it back, bring the name back to the good side. And this is like the follow up to this, because Hattori goes to the Turtles for help, because he wants to rebuild his family name, rebuild the the business. But there are still some bad guys, some ninjas, actually some, as it appears, foot ninjas inside, and they are still in control of some of this business. And so the Turtles and Casey, they go in, help Hattori, and there they run not only into some foot ninjas that they fight, but they also run into this mysterious female ninja who has on one hand like this shredder gauntlet. It's like mysterious. Who is she? Because we never find out in the story who she is, and she's like, "You will pay for the crimes you did." And the turtle's like, "What did we do? What? Something that Splinter Band? Yeah, we don't find out." But yeah, the Foot Ninjas are defeated, and Hattori is able to take over the business and bring it back to good. So it's a happy end, but still a mystery with this mysterious woman. It's pretty cool, but I liked her design. She was pretty cool, a cool female ninja with like this shredder claw. It's, mysterious. I like it.
Yeah, and I like the Casey Jones look here. A little bit longer hair. It works. So,
Yeah.
oh, coming up next, this is really cool to me. When you see a name like this, I get excited. Peter Laird's got some work in this one with the story. And to me, it reminds you of the 87 series when you're looking at who wrote the story. And when you see David Wise, you know this is a must watch, just like this is a must read, especially with the artwork. You know it's going to be good when you got a fellow Gator on the cover.
Exactly. Tales of the TMT number 23, Attack of the Replicants. This is a follow-up to the story that we talked about last week. As we remember, when in the end the turtles ran into Leatherhead and he was transported away by some Utroms and we didn't find out what happened to him. Here we finally find out what happened to him because Leatherhead was taken by some a mysterious Utrom group who want to use Leatherhead not for good. So the turtles, with the help of the good Utroms, go in to save their friend, and it turns out that the other group of Utroms, they created some clones of Leatherhead. And so there's this big fight between the turtles and Leatherhead and the clones and the evil Utroms and so on and so forth. Of course, in the end, the good guys win. But I like the ending here because a lot of the times with Leatherhead is like he wants to go back to the Utroms because they were his family. They were the one who, by accident, created him, and he wanted always to build this transmat to go back to their world. But here in the end, he's finally with the Utroms, and he's like, "Now you know what? I want to go home. I want to go home back to Earth because this is my home." So that's the end of that story. It's yeah, pretty cool action, pretty great art.
Yeah.
Nothing to complain here.
No, exactly. Next one, I guess maybe they're taking not a shot, but they enjoy. Again, these guys we've talked about before with bands like Tool and whatnot. Now in issue 24, Rock of Ages, which is a phenomenal song by Def Leppard.
Yeah, and it's also once again a pretty interesting story because by accident some guys find, how should I put it, find like a metal bot under the city, and out of this come two robotic creatures who cause chaos in the city. But the turtles are the ones who realize, like, okay, something is wrong with them. They don't want to, they're not evil. They don't want to cause chaos. They're only fighting when they are getting attacked, and they are acting like, I don't know, children. So the turtles are able to communicate with them somehow, and like, hey, you can come with us. We take care of you, so you don't get hurt. So they bring them to their lair, and Donatello is like checking out these robots, and it turns out that these are just robotic suits, and inside these robotic suits are two, kids actually, a boy and a girl. And the big twist of the story is like, because first they're like, okay, there's alien robots, aliens, the usual stuff. But Donatello is the one who finds out that they are from Earth actually. That apparently, like millions of years ago, there was a civilization that got destroyed, and they are the last surviving members of the civilization. So it's like the humans were already evolving to a part where they were like super intelligent, super technology was very high, and so on and so forth. And but they in the end apparently destroyed themselves, and so it had to start over again. And just this is the stuff where it's like mind blowing. This is world building. Like, okay, so this means that humans existed millions of years ago, and then they were destroyed, and then they came back again. And just the thought of that, it blows my mind. It's like, for this, I really enjoy this story because it makes you think so much, and it really hurts my head. But it's in my opinion, like a big twist that like I did not see coming. I don't know how it is with you.
That's I'm actually if I sent you a picture of my notebook, I said please help me Christian confusing because I was lost reading this one. This one was very difficult for me to read, and I was like, hopefully he can help break it down for our listeners here on Shellonomics because I wouldn't have known really what to say except I have ouch Leonardo. That's pretty. My notes here like I was very lost on this one, so thank you very much for that one. But celebration time coming once again. This Tales of the TMNT hits number 25, and just such a very humble group of people here. They even have thank you art in this one. Kawa freaking bunga for a little celebration. Some short stories here with Mikey doing some cool artwork that I just wanted to mention here, and just I can't thank you enough. I'll say it one more time when we close off. We're still breaking down up to number 30 today in this one, but what a treat number 25 is, man. How'd you like reading this one?
Yeah, it's so. I mean, just look at the cover of this. It's so cool. Turtles fighting foot ninjas. It's so classic. A little bit bloody, but I like it. I like it. It's just so good. And yeah, as you said, once again, it's like a collection of shorter stories. The first story is called Kung Fu Theater, where there are these two rivaling martial arts schools, Karate Kid style. They are the teachers. They try to get them closer, that they are not fighting each other all the time. So all of them go to a theater to check out a movie. But then, like the turtles who are fighting some foot ninjas, they are falling through the roof, smashing right into the theater. And yeah, so it's pretty much chaos. It's pretty much action, but chaos, where the turtles are fighting foot ninjas, and there are this martial art students in the middle of it, going along with it. It's pretty much crazy. But then the police arrives, turtles disappear, and it's because it's so funny in the end because these students, they're like, what was it? One of them was the dragon and one of them was the crane school, I think. And they're like, dragon style is the best, no, crane style is the best. And it goes through this whole story, like they're always fighting about this. And in the last on the last page, we see the turtles just standing there as like, you know what, turtle style is the best. I just love this.
Yeah, and even the Bruce Lee
um
Enter the Dragon I thought was pretty cool too.
yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Classic. Yeah, and then the second story is a nice little Turtles as Kid story, which I'm always a fan of. And we see in this story, like, it's pretty much about Michelangelo because Splinter is like trying to teach them some calligraphy and so on and so forth. And Mikey is drawing his little comics, and at first Splinter is pretty much angry with him. But then he checks out the art and the comics, and Splinter realizes, hey, he's got a talent. The little kid has a talent, and so in the end, he gifts Michelangelo some pencils and stuff that he can draw his comics with, and that's a nice story. You know. As a father myself, I really get get the feeling of the stories because like sometimes it's really like, hey, you should learn, you should not draw, should like fool around, but then you realize, hey, the kid, it can draw, it's really good at it, so maybe this is what it should do, so maybe this is what my kids should do. So it's something that, yeah, as a parent you realize, and I can really feel Splinter in this story. And Yeah, then we have another story, The Doors of Deception, which is an Utrom story. Because in some of this that we did not talk about, some of these issues, there's this like the short Utrom story in the back, like of Professor Obligado, who's like this Utrom scientist, and he's having some crazy adventures. And yeah, this is one of these stories. So yeah, that's pretty much issue number 25.
And what was cool too was even just a little. What I liked was, who was up there? Michelangelo, the first turtle. So they even did a little. I don't know if that was intended, when they said Mikey, because he's always the first turtle. That's why I believe he was the last Ronin. So I thought that was pretty cool too. Another one here, dude. I just, this is why I'm so glad you had time today to do these. I have in all caps, fun read, number 26. You get Raph, you get Casey, and who? Donatello on the cover. And just again, as a Twitch streamer, as a video gamer, and this is actually something that did happen in the real world, but they put their own spin on it. So feel free to take this one away. I'm excited to hear what you got to say about this one.
The story is called The Value of Gold. And as I said, it's an interesting story because, Donatello is the one who's playing some MMORPGs, and he realizes that some people are buying gold for these games on eBay, which is something that still happens today. And because there are some like gold farms, like some, you might call it sweatshops, because some people are just inside this places, and they're just sitting in front of the computer all day and just playing it to get gold, and then they inside the game, and then to transfer it to people who are buying for it. And Donnie, Rev, and Casey, they check out one of these places, and they see like these poor people who are sitting in front of the computer all day, and they get paid like almost nothing for it. And they're like, hey, this is not right, we should stop this. So they go after, they try to like save these people. But in a twist of the story, these people, they go after the turtles and Casey. Like, hey, what are you doing? We are working here, and we know it's not. We are not getting paid a lot, but it's what we have to do to survive. And so it's like the turtles like, hey, but we wanted to save you. Yeah, but you cannot save us, because if you like save us from here, we don't have any money at all. So it's like a little, it's almost too real, this story, I gotta say. Because it's like, yeah, it's capitalism at its best, because the boss, they get the big money, and the little worker, they almost get nothing. And it's like, it's not fair, but yeah, what can you do about it? It's like a pretty, yeah, as I said, a little bit too real sometimes.
Yeah, and that's how it works in games, because Donnie's there and he's like, what the hell? How did everybody get to the next level but me? Wait, my friends are cheating? They're just buying the gold? That happens everywhere. That happens in Pokemon Go. People were selling, but I mean, now it's super popular. Even back then, people were selling their accounts. Hey, you get my Mewtwo, you get a couple other rares, you got your level up, take it over and enjoy. And yeah, that really happened in World of Warcraft. I didn't know too much about that game, but my friend was saying, yeah, dude, what they would do is pretty much exactly what this comic says. They would buy gold from somebody who would do the grinding for you, and then say, hey, I got it for you. Why not? So it's like you're hiring a middleman. And I just said, not much money there, but kind of crazy. They have sweatshops here. And what was really shocking was the people were like, no, we don't want your help. This is what we want to do. And they're like, oh, well, okay then. I guess we'll just be on our way. So and it was crazy because Casey Jones was like in there too. And again, he's like, lawbreakers. I don't care if you're a gamer or not. You're breaking the law. So it was nice having those rebels in there too. All right, guys, we're down to our last 4 in this episode, and we're on the Tales of the April? I was like, whoa, what is this cover all about? This one's really cool. This one's a fun one. For any April fan, this is a must-read.
Yeah, absolutely. It's called White Horses, and it takes place, that's the thing, because it takes place during volume 4 of the Mirage comics that we have not yet talked about. But in this story, April finds in this volume, April finds out about her origin, that she's how should I put it, not to spoil it too much, but she's not a real human. She's something different, and it really was a crisis for her, and so she took off on like this road trip to find herself, pretty much. And she was not sure about what she should do with her life after all this, and so she goes to Alaska, if I remember correctly. I think it was Alaska, and yeah, there she meets like this woman who she talks to, this elderly woman she talks to about her life and everything. And she also hears like about this story of a white horse that's living on this at this place here, like this mysterious white horse that appears to help people or something. And yeah, during all this, April runs into a bear and almost gets thrown off a cliff. And it's really crazy. And suddenly this woman appears and is like, should I help you? You know, and April is like, I want to live. I want to go on living. And this is like the moment of like, hey, this is what I want to do. It does not matter where I come from, but what I do with my life, it's what important. So I want to live, I want to go on living. And that's the moment where she realized, okay, I have to go back to my family, I have to go back to New York. And yeah, as it turns out, the old woman was in the end the mysterious, once again, mystical white horse. Um, yeah, pretty interesting story. Just like the end of the story is like, hey, it does not matter where you come from. This is your life. Do the best what you can with it and go on living. It's like, yeah, I get it. And it's, as you said, it's the Tales of April story. So it's all about April. The turtles are not in it, but it's cool to have like this little spotlight on April
Well,
here.
I had so much fun reading this with this Raven, and there's a Raven clan, and of course the lady turns into the horse at the end, and Splinter comes out of nowhere too, and it goes to Splinter because again,
Oh, yeah.
these timelines, like you were saying, right, they jump all over the place, right? So, because Splinter's been dead in a couple of these, so I thought that was pretty wild too. And now here we go for fans of Stone Cold Steve Austin and underage drinking. Apparently, Raphael's in a bar in this one, but this one I love because again, we talked about this in the last one we broke down. A story I really loved. That character is back in Tales 28.
Yeah, this story is called Shanghai. And in this story, Raphael is at a bar, just hanging out, and he meets Cha Ocho there. As we remember, he was the guy who, yeah, Leonardo has a little rivalry with after everything that happened, because he was going after the killer of his wife, and Leonardo tried to stop him. Yeah, but there's no. This is the funny thing, because it's like not. Oh, hey, you're a bad guy. You're a turtle. Let's fight. No, it's not that. Just two dudes hanging out at the bar, just drinking, just chatting with each other. But as I said before, it's with the turtles, so nothing is normal.
Yeah.
Um, because these two dudes, they're just drinking and then they're passing out, and then they get abducted by some aliens who like abduct some humans for, we don't exactly find out for what. It's slave labor, or they want to eat them, I don't know. So Chaocho and Raphael, they work together to escape the aliens. They get out of the spaceship as it flies off into space, and they are back in New York. They're like, okay, that was crazy. Let's go to a different bar this time. And yeah, that's pretty much the end of that story. It's like, it's crazy, but I think it's actually a funny story in a way.
Yeah, and they get you don't have to spoil it if he comes back. I hope he does, but pretty much Raph's like, "What you been up to? You still working for the Foot?" Yeah, kind of. So you get a little bit of insight with him, and then they're like, let's go to another bar. Yeah, let's stay away from Wally's from now on. And they just walk past at the end. So just a fun little short one here. Now we're popping into number 29 with Donatello, and like you say, there's a little bit more spirituality talk here, and another friend returns with the T.
Yeah, of course.
Triceratons are coming around here.
Yeah. The story is called Soul Survivor, and in the story, once again, it's Donatello goes to space story, and we in this story it's pretty much the Donatello meets some meets a Sterechodon, which is an alien, and he also runs into some Triceratons, and these two races, they don't really like each other, but Donatello finds like this ancient spaceship, and there's like this skeleton in there who was a pilot who apparently has some trademarks of a Triceraton and a Sterechodon. So like they both have the same ancestor. So but Donatello tries to tell them that it's a pretty crazy story, but mostly it's just about like you are so similar. These two races, they are so similar, but they like, I don't like you, I don't like you, but in the end, you come from the same place. So that's pretty much the whole story. It's a bit complicated to like really tell you what it is about, because it's mostly about, hey, mm, why do you hate each other so much? Because in the end, we are all the same. So that's the morale of the story. But in the end, it's Donatello runs into some Triceratons and has another space adventure story.
Yeah, another fun one here. Just, I mean, he's been with the Fujitoys. I like how there's been a lot of space ones too. You know, we don't really get that too much. I mean, we do sometimes, but it's nice having a breath of fresh air when they do all this little, Star Wars, Guardians of the Galaxy type stuff. So, our final episode here is our good friend Michelangelo does a really cool act of kindness, and then which way does it go? We're gonna find out right here in our finale of this podcast.
Whew. Tales of the TMNT number 30, called Circle of Darkness, which I can really recommend to, once again, to the horror fans out there, especially H.P. Lovecraftian style. In the story, Mikey is, as I said, he helps a blind man, and the blind man tells him, hey, you can go to this place it's a safe place, and Mike is like, there I can have some alone time, I can write some stories. So he does, until he sees a mysterious man from this building, and he follows him, and it's really pretty crazy. Once again, this is like the story, like what is real, what is fantasy, what did any of this really happen? Because Mikey sees this guy who is like summoning this gigantic worm creature, once again, very Lovecraftian style. And Mikey tries to stop him. And it's always switching back and forth, because like, oh no, something weird happens. Boof! Suddenly Mikey is back in the house. Like, okay, did this happen? Was it just a dream? Once again, something weird happens. Boom! Mikey is back in the house. What's going on? And in the end, like the other turtles find Mikey, who is unconscious inside the building, apparently because of a gas leak. And the turtles like, oh, it's very dangerous in here, and this was all just a weird dream because of the gas and so on and so forth. But then they find like this mysterious book that is connected to this to this ritual and so on and so forth. So like, okay, was there something behind it? Was it real? What was real? And I like this stuff. I really like this stuff where you can really think about it and really break your head over it, because what was real? Was it just Mikey's fantasy? Was it just a dream that he had when he was unconscious, or was there really a guy who tried to like summon this godlike warm creature? We may never find out.
Yeah, and a good start. Again, just it pulls you in right away. Like, whoa, he saved this guy, and he's like, allow me to help return the favors. Like, well, I guess I could read that, work on this book I wanted. And like, yeah, man, it's none of that was real, Mike, or was it? So, oh, dude, this has been fun. Thanks for keeping the energy up. As jacked as I was, we were able to go a good full hour here, just sharing just what we love best is just Ninja Turtles. Christian, where can people find more? And what comics have you been reading on your podcast for us, our English viewers over there?
Yeah, pretty much. You can find more of me on my podcast, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Talk. Check out the website tmnttalk.com, or just check out TMNT Talk on like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, yeah, pretty much everywhere. And yeah, I've been reading a lot of the current comics currently, like the TMNT Saturn Morning Adventures, which are really fun, or the current run of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which is also really great. And yeah, or like the new stuff, like the new Shredder miniseries that started, and so on and so forth. So much good stuff. And yeah, a special treat that I had last time was that I was able to talk to Asia Wax, the original bubblegum girl from the 1990 movie. It was a great interview. Definitely check it out. I can really recommend it. It was a blast. So yeah, check out TMT The Talk if you want to hear more of me.
Absolutely, guys. You'll find out if she likes pineapple on pizza. Christian asked her that big old question, so check that out if you want to get her answer. And my friend, hopefully we'll be telling each other a lot more stories later to come. Thanks again for being here, as always.
Yeah, it's been a blast as always, my dude.